I think we can go ahead and get started. So first of all, congratulations on receiving the Gilman Scholarship for your study or intern abroad program, and welcome to our Recipients Ask Me Anything webinar. The Benjamin A. Gilman International Scholarship Program is a program of the U.S. Department of State with funding provided by the U.S. government and supported in its implementation by the Institute of International Education, IIE. My name is Maya, and I'm joined by my colleague Jen. We are both Gilman Regional Advisors, and today we will be sharing a quick overview of next steps and requirements. And then after the short presentation, we'll begin answering your questions. So please do start submitting them in the Q&A box as we go along. But do keep in mind, if they are very specific, it's probably best to contact your Gilman Regional Advisor directly. And I just wanted to let you all know that the presentation is being recorded, and we will email a link to everyone who registered for the webinar. So you may be wondering where to start. We recommend first reading our award letter instructions, which include helpful information and links to additional resources. We also encourage you to review the Gilman Scholar Checklist, which allows you to track all Gilman Scholar requirements before, during, and after your program abroad. The Gilman tasks and submissions are completed through the online portal, and there are generally 4 steps to receiving your funds. So first, you accept your award and update your program details as needed. Second, you complete the terms and conditions. Third, you complete all requirements on the recipient tab of your portal, including uploading all required documents. And fourth, the Gilman team will review your documents and let you know if any changes are required before approving them. On the dashboard tab of your portal, you will select Click here to accept or decline your award. In the scholarship decision form, which you have just opened, carefully review each item to confirm it's correct or to update it. Pay close attention to your program dates. Any discrepancies with dates can lead to disapproved documents, which delays receiving your funds. After you have accepted your award, the recipient tab will open, but don't forget to complete the terms and conditions on the dashboard tab before you move on. If you are changing programs entirely, you will also inform us through the scholarship decision form by updating the relevant sections. Check out our program change guide, which is linked in the award letter instructions for step-by-step instructions and FAQs. Please note that program changes must meet the same eligibility requirements as when you applied, and the Gilman team will review your requested updates. We ask that you pay attention to the cycle timeframe for which you are awarded. For our October 2025 recipients, your programs must start between December 2025 and October 31st, 2026. If you don't have a new program yet, you can still accept your award and edit your program details later. In the dashboard tab, you will see a scholarship decision form after you accept your award. You can edit your program details by clicking on View/Edit Decision Confirmation. The Gilman program, as you know, is currently awarding for our October 2025 Gilman Scholarship recipients. So we are receiving a very high volume of inquiries from students nationwide. We encourage you to review all the resources we have for you prior to contacting the Gilman program for assistance. Many are in your Gilman portal. We also want to make sure that you check out the recipient section of the Gilman Scholarship website. The link is on the screen. The URL is on the screen. In particular, we recommend reviewing the award guidelines page, where you will find detailed instructions and videos about your required documents. The Receiving Your Scholarship page for information about payments and Zelle, and the Recipient's FAQ page for answers to many common questions. We just have one more reminder before addressing your questions, so please drop them in the Q&A box. Before uploading your acceptance letter, insurance, and step documentation, Don't forget to ensure that your program dates in the portal match your documentation by referring to the scholarship decision form in the dashboard tab of your Gilman portal. Your official program dates do not include any time in the US or any travel dates. Okay, so I think we can get started. I don't know if there's any in the Q&A. Oh, it looks like there are. Let's get to them then.
Yeah, we have a question here about flights and how to respond in your Gilman portal. So I can go ahead and answer this one. It looks like the question is, if I am not using my Gilman funds to purchase my flight, what option do I select for this particular tile in the Gilman portal? So you can select either the second or third option. Both will indicate that you are not using your funds to pay for your flight, and so you will not have to comply with the Fly America Act if you are not using your Gilman Award to purchase the flight.
Wonderful. Another question we have is how long does it take to get all documents approved? So this is a great question, and it really depends. So it's important to note that first of all, we will not start looking at your documents until everything else is complete in your portal. So that includes the terms and conditions, all the recipient requirements, and that you've uploaded a document for every single category. Once that happens, they will come to us for our review and approval. And because we are in the midst of our October 2025 awarding cycle, we will be prioritizing review based on program start date. So primarily those in December and January at the moment. So again, it really depends on how fast you get your side of things done and also when your program start date is. We also just wanted to note that if you are worried about an upcoming financial deadline or anything like that, you can use the Gilman support and decision letters in your portal to request a extension on that deadline if you need it. Request it from your study abroad advisor or your program provider.
All right, the next question is regarding dates and how to align those in your Gilman portal. So it sounds like this is a case where your host institution may have a different semester than the international student. So you as an international student may be arriving and departing at a different time. If you have an acceptance letter from your host institution with dates that don't apply to you and when you'll actually be in country, you can please recommend a new letter from your home university, study abroad, or program advisor. We have a letter template linked right within your document collection tile of your Gilman portal. So you can share that with your home institution and have them fill that out so that the dates follow along with when you'll actually be required to arrive and depart the country. You can also make sure that your Gilman portal dates reflect your official dates by editing those. So if you go to the dashboard section of your Gilman portal, you'll see on the scholarship decision form what we have as your program start and end date. And you can click View Edit Decision Confirmation to edit those dates at any time.
Wonderful. So we have a few similar questions here that I'll get to. Some of our attendees are concerned about missing a step in the portal or doing something wrong and not knowing about it. As you go along in the recipient tab of your portal, you will see that either action is required with a little red bar at the top of each tile or that it's been completed. The only one that doesn't have this is the emergency contact at the bottom. It'll say required or it will disappear. And then you should see if your documents were uploaded. It should say pending IIE review with a little blue banner across it. So that is how you can find out if you are working on things appropriately and going along as needed. I also always recommend following along in the Gilman Scholar checklist separately to make sure you're getting everything done that you need to. Of course, if you have any questions about the specific tiles or requirements, any confusion around that, you are always welcome to reach out to your Gilman Regional Advisor. Um, I would also just wanted to note that as another person asked about the timeline after everything is approved for receiving your payment. Yes, so after you've completed everything on your side and we've approved all your award documentation, you should receive your funds within 2 to 3 weeks of that approval date. Mostly via Zelle, but if you are unable to use Zelle, then you can switch to the direct deposit option.
One that I just typed in the chat and wanted to share with everyone. This was a question about how to find out more information about eligible and non-eligible expenses for your Gilman funds. You can find that information on the recipient section of our website under Receiving Your Scholarship. So I put a direct link to our list of eligible and non-eligible expenses for you. Eligible expenses include those directly related to your study abroad program. So you can check that out and let your Gilman Regional Advisor know if you have any questions.
That's great. I also just wanted to let you all know, those of you who are concerned about missing a step, is that once we have reviewed your award documentation, you will receive an email. It will either let you know that everything was approved, or it will let you know if there were any particular issues, and then you will have the opportunity to make changes and resubmit or submit new documentation. We've got a question here about if they can apply to the March 2026 deadline after being awarded for the October 2025. So if you would like to, you can decline your October 2025 award and reapply for March 2026. However, unless you are planning on going on a program that is outside of the October 2025 cycle, I don't necessarily recommend this as there's no guarantee that you would be awarded again. There's also no guarantee that the funds you would receive would be the same amount as you've received this time. They could also be less. So unless it's about an actual program date, this is not something that I would generally recommend.
We have a similar question that is about program changes and eligibility. So when you have to change your program, you will have to do that within the time frame for the application cycle that you applied through. So for October 2025, like Maya mentioned through our PowerPoint presentation, you have until October 31st, 2026. And then all of the other eligibility criteria from when you applied still apply in this case. So you would still need to be an undergraduate student in good standing. Your location would need to be in a level 1 or 2 travel advisory level, etc. So you can find that information on our website, and always feel free to reach out to your Gilman Regional Advisor with any questions about your program change. In terms of letting us know that you have a program change, we recommend doing that as soon as you have those details finalized. And you can give us that information directly in your portal. Again, that's on the dashboard section within the scholarship decision form. You can just click View Edit Decision Confirmation and update any details that need to be changed.
Wonderful. So there is a similar question about what happens if their program dates have changed, and the program is slightly shorter. Um, would that affect the amount that they were awarded? In this case, we would not consider this to be a program change, just an adjustment. Sometimes the dates aren't finalized when you submit your Gilman application. So please just update your dates. This would not be an instance where we would look at the reevaluate the amount that you were awarded. Um, Also, similarly, there's a question here about how the funds were determined. Um, it is the Gilman Scholarship is up to $5,000. It's not guaranteed to be $5,000, and this is a very competitive scholarship. So the amount that you were awarded is all that we are able to grant you at this time. If you have questions or concerns about this, we really encourage you to talk to your home university study abroad advisor and or financial aid advisor about what your options are.
We had another question here about how to know that you completed all of your outstanding tasks in your Gilman portal. In terms of your homepage or that dashboard section, there is really only two things for you to complete. First is to accept your award, and then second, to complete your terms and conditions. Once you've done that, you can move on to the recipient tab. Those tiles will display a status if the attention is required or it's incomplete. And we will also be following up with you once we've received and reviewed your documents. So you should receive an email from us to let you know that those are approved. That's how you know that you've met all of your requirements to receive your funds. And you'll receive a timeline for when the funds will be sent to you in that document approval email.
We have a few questions. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
I was just going to say, if you have any questions about that and you want to double check, we also recommend opening up our Gilman Scholar checklist and just comparing it with your portal. And that'll help make sure that you've ticked off everything that's needed for us to issue your funds.
Wonderful. We have a few questions about the Fly America Act. So, uh, as we mentioned, you can use your Gilman funds to pay for your flights as long as they comply with the Fly America Act. So that means booking your flight through a US flag carrier, booking your flights using code sharing, so making sure a US airline code is on your ticket, or booking your flights in compliance with the Open Skies Agreement. Um, there are four open skies agreements: Australia, the European Union, Japan, and Switzerland. But you will have to double check what each agreement says. So we do encourage you to review the Fly America Act guidance we have on our website. If you have a question still about your particular flight, this is a situation where I would encourage you to email your Gilman um, regional advisor directly, as we will not be able to address every single one of your flights in this webinar. We also have a question about how to complete it. So the first option in the Fly America Act tile lets us know that your flights are Fly America Act compliant, but it does not say that you plan to use your Gilman funds towards that. So if your flights are with the US flag carrier and you don't plan on using your funds for it, that's fine, but still select that option. Otherwise, if your flights don't comply, please select that you will be using a foreign carrier, and you will not be using your Gilman funds to pay for your ticket. And there's also another option if you are unsure.
All right, I'm just sharing links to our Gilman Scholar checklist since we had a couple of questions come up about that. So you can find that in the chat. I see a question here related to documents. it's asking about if our home institution and study abroad program offices are closed, how we should proceed with requesting any additional documents. This is a great point with the holidays. We highly recommend that you request any acceptance letter or international health insurance information or letters from your home institution while they're still open and before your break officially starts so that you can get those documents uploaded in the portal without delay. Something else that you may need to time with when your home institution is open is ordering your official transcript. So those are some of the official documents that you won't have immediate control over. You may need to request from another person, but in terms of your STEP enrollment and your proof of US citizenship, those should be fine. But we really recommend taking a look at our letter template for your acceptance letter, your international health insurance, and then ordering those official transcripts early.
Great. We also have a question here about submitting proof of how they use their Gilman funds. Um, there's sort of two questions going on here. There's another about the financial aid certification. So the first question, as Jen shared, our eligible expenses list, you are required to only use your Gilman funds towards eligible expenses. However, you do not need to submit receipts to us, but we do strongly recommend keeping track for your own budgeting purposes. Second, as part of the application, your financial aid advisor completed a certification. If they were able to certify that you were receiving the Pell Grant, then you do not need to submit or you're receiving the Pell Grant for the application term, so fall 2025, or for the term that you're going abroad. You will not be required to submit an additional financial aid certification. However, if they were not sure or not able to let us know this, and you were awarded, then you will need to submit this additional certification. But you will know this because in the document collection tile, you will either have the option to submit it or you won't. Um, Oh, and just really quickly, we have a question about an affiliated program through their school, and which is the program sponsor, their school or the affiliated program. I would say go ahead and make sure it's the affiliated program that's listed.
Another question came up around eligible expenses, and this student already paid with personal funds some of the program fees. So in this case, you can use your Gilman scholarship to reimburse yourself for those eligible expenses that you already paid for prior to receiving your scholarship. Please just refer to our eligible expenses list to confirm. And I'll go ahead and share that link again in the chat for you.
Great. So it looks like we also have a question about whether additional program locations change the award amount. So it's highly likely that it wouldn't, but I'm going to go ahead and put a link to our program change guide, which also has an FAQ section for all of you to reference. Okay. And we have one more question. The photo section under the documents section, how high quality should this photo be? I believe that there's some guidelines on there about what it might be used for. And also the document collection tile has like maximum file size. But in general, it should be a clear, crisp, a photo that is professional and you wouldn't mind being shared with others. And we have another question, which is, are taxes taken out of the award amount? So taxes are not taken out of the award amount before we send them to you. However, the Gilman Scholarship is taxable. And we have some links to the IRS website if you need them. Um, but we do encourage you to refer to the IRS website for tax questions. So it looks like we've answered all your questions, but do please keep them coming if you have any more. There are a few common questions I just wanted to address as well for you all. One is, especially with programs starting in early January, concerns about receiving your scholarship funds before you go abroad. We just wanted to reassure you that even if your award documentation isn't approved until after uh, you're abroad, we will be sending your funds to you. So it's really a good idea to double check that your Zelle is set up correctly. So contact your bank, make sure there are no maximum incoming transfer limits, and make sure that your email address is the one you provided to us and is set as the primary or default payment method, as we cannot send funds via phone number. Um, you also, as part of your Gilman requirements, do have to confirm your arrival and update your on-site contact details within 72 hours of arrival. This will become available to you in the Abroad tab, which appears after your award documentation has been approved. So if it hasn't been approved yet, no worries. But as soon as it is, and as soon as you gain access, we ask that you complete those required tiles. We also often get questions about program dates. Just to reiterate, your program start date is the day your study or intern abroad program requires you to arrive in your host country. But it does not include any parts of your program that might take place in the United States or any travel days. And your program end date is the day your study or intern abroad program allows you to depart your host country. And this can be different from domestic students. So please, please, please double check, make sure that your documentation is aligning. And if it's not, we encourage you to reach out to your study abroad advisor. So just as the last questions are coming in, I would love to just draw your attention to this screen where you will see that we have two more upcoming webinars. They're both Ask Me Anythings. You can register using the link in your Gilman Portals award letter instructions. We also host re-entry webinars periodically for those who have recently finished their program. We will email you registration invitations closer to the time that we're hosting those re-entry webinars. And like I said, if you have any questions or concerns, please reach out to your Gilman Regional Advisor. We have contact information on the screen, and it's also located in your Gilman portal. So I just wanted to give another minute in case there are any other questions that are coming in about what you need, about the requirements. Okay, it looks like we've answered all of your questions today. Thank you so much for attending. We are always here for any questions or concerns. Have a great rest of your day.
Thank you. Bye.